Hi everyone and welcome to my drama school audition experience series. Today I'm going to be doing my RADA audition experience while also doing a get ready with me video, because today that means I just save a lot of time. That's why my hair looks like this and I will be looking consistently silly throughout this video. You'll enjoy that. I had my RADA audition nearly 2 weeks ago now and I've been meaning to film this video. It's just I've been super busy. So I hadn't auditioned for RADA last year. A new experience for me and a nice audition really, albeit a little bit rushed, but a little bit like unsurety certainly at the event. Obviously RADA is probably the most well-known drama conservatoire in the world. It's a great school, it's a small school. I didn't audition last year because I was scared of the reputation, which I think is why a lot of people don't apply. The chances are small everywhere you go, and the best opportunity you have at drama schools is to audition, so why wouldn't you want to audition for one of the top schools in the world, you know? My audition full time was at 3 o'clock, so I saw my coach beforehand and we went through the speeches. When I got there, the reception was like, hey, I'm here to audition. They told me to just sit and wait in reception for a bit. Someone who was running the auditions came along and explained how the day was going to go, with about 10 of us auditioning in a group that day. I don't know if those were the only auditions they were having that day, or if they have earlier ones, because I have friends who've auditioned at RADA and their audition call times have been like 9 or 10 or so on and so forth. So the lady went through our application forms, we did any amendments that needed doing on them, and we just were separated into 2 groups. I think a group of 4 and a group of 5, because there were 2 panels to see auditionees that day. We had 2 runners helping with each group. I think my group's runner was like late because he was getting coffee for people. He led us towards, I think we weren't having our auditions in the RADA building. Our runner took us over to what I believe is the RADA studios. We were waiting in this lovely corridor, and yeah, I was the second person of my group to go in. What happened in the room at the RADA audition was very simple and very lovely. I got in, I said hello, I was told to have a seat in front of the panel, of which there were 2 people, and the student that was being the runner, who by the way I think was a 3rd year student, was there as well. So I shook their hand, which is always lovely when someone actually shakes your hand. We just had a sort of chatty style interview about me, where I'm from, where I started, like my interest in drama and acting and stuff like that, what else I do, such as my work. Spoke about my youth theatre. One of the guys on the panel knew my actual youth theatre, which is pretty cool. It's fun when you meet people who like know stuff about Reading, for one. I just spoke about living and like post not getting into drama school last year, what I was doing about that, and I said it was mostly like working and doing like excess acting training like Rose Bruford and stuff like that. And then I did my speeches. I ask of you when you get up to your speeches in my panel, I don't know if it's the same for every panel, it probably is because I think I've heard this before. Well, they tell you where to stand, and that's quite far away from the panel in that room, to be fair. Way further than I've stood to the panel at my other auditions, but to be fair, I think I have stood too close. Basically, you're at the complete opposite end of the room. You didn't have a lot of space behind you, so I started off with my Edmund speech from King Lear. I think this is the audition where I decided to stop starting with my Shakespeare, because Edmund is a very emotionally charged speech. There's a lot of anger there's a lot of hurt, and I think to start off with that can be difficult, because it means getting out of it when you're in your second speech. There is a sense of your energy dropping, and it is quite a tough emotion to get into in terms of how comfortable you are. If say for me, I'm not very comfortable with the feeling of anger. If that's your first time in the space and then getting into that uncomfortable emotion, that can be a bit more difficult to showcase. You feel a bit more, you restrict yourself a little bit more, I think, in my opinion. You have something like that where you have a very fiery, angry, or just emotions that you're not particularly comfortable with in yourself. Don't start with it and do your other speech first, because then you're already in the space, so you allow yourself to get more vulnerable within that space more easily, I think, in my opinion. I based all of that on my RADA audition, which was my 4th audition of the season, so maybe a little bit late to realise that, but we'll learn, we'll grow, we'll prosper. I thought in this audition my anger and my upset from Edmund was very focused. I felt very on edge and like I was gonna cry. It was really weird how much I was putting in that space from that character. And I'm not sure if it was great, because I did feel like, as I said, anger makes me nervous, it makes me anxious, and in that space I was doing a little bit of shaking. If anyone's seen my Italia Conti audition video, you know that I had the shakes in that audition, and this wasn't the shakes, like my entire body wasn't shaking, but I could feel a slight trembling, and I don't know if that was because of nerves or you going to that place of such strong feeling, or at least trying to achieve that. It definitely made me on edge. I think made me a little bit more, not stagnant, but physically a bit more stagnant and restricted. Modern also felt good, but that's it, it just sort of felt good. Like, didn't feel like, I think on reflecting back, like the focus was there, the ideas were there, but like the dynamic was kind of lost, I think. You know when you do a speech and it just sort of, yeah, you feel good about it and you just have no idea how you actually perform, because it's just like, yeah, I don't know. No, maybe that shows a lack of feeling. I don't know sometimes, okay? Sometimes I just don't know. My speeches have changed a lot, like, the whole time. These have been, they're nice because I've been working on them and they're malleable and they're constantly changing and I'm constantly learning more. There is no one perfect way to do these speeches, but it does sort of mean that every time you perform them, it's like, was that good? Which, there is no right and wrong answer in theatre or in acting or in art at all. There is a sense of, I mean, I guess you as the actor, like, you always sort of constantly look for validation and don't get that on auditions, which is the most annoying thing, because you have to analyse yourself, and it's hard sometimes, because sometimes you're just like, hang on, what the fuck did I just do? However, they were definitely different than I've done before, in a sense of I definitely felt like I was feeling in those moments rather than just performing. Following doing my speeches, I got to sit down again and have a lovely chat again, and we spoke about the speeches. My eyebrows look really hardcore right now, but I promise you they'll look fine in a minute. I sat down, the guy said that he had never actually heard of the modern play, and so I spoke about the play and about its background and how it was written, and then they asked me why I chose Edmund's speech, and I said about how it really stuck out to me, an interesting perspective, because it's somebody who is oppressed by society, yet at the same time they are incredibly privileged, but also there's like a huge feeling of frustration there, and his reaction and his response to that to try and gain recognition or change is just by carnage and unnecessary, unfair means. And then they asked for admin purposes where else I've auditioned for, and so I gave them all my schools and asked me about how my previous auditions have gone, and I said, well, they've gone great. And then I left and it was grand. I think my advice coming from this audition, this is not a full get ready with me. I think my advice is to just stay focused. There is a lot of waiting time and it'll feel, again, it feels like one of those things where there's so much anticipation for such little build up, because you're in that room for a mere 10 minutes and you always feel like you haven't done enough and you haven't shown enough, but that's what you have and that's what everyone has. I'd say stay focused, stay calm, however you can, whatever that means, and don't feel like you're being rude to other candidates because you're not speaking. You need to do what is best for you at that moment. One, don't doubt your own position and your own knowledge of the process that you're going through, because I think a lot of people do that. They like gossip and talk about auditions in schools and listen to rumours and get scared about things and are just looking for, what do I do if I don't get in or something like that. You don't need to know that. The only questions you really need to know is about the school that you're auditioning at and, you know, how people are. I get back to you very quickly. I didn't get in, guys, so this year's going well. But that's okay, because everyone's journey is different, everyone takes different times, every school's looking for a different thing, and drama school is not the end all and be all. And also, drama school is not the first thing you have to do in your life. We're all on different paths, we're all on different journeys, we're all doing different things, we're all developing a craft here. That's my video. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the fact that this was sort of a half get ready with me. Will you ever know what my face will look like at the end of this day? I don't know, guys. I don't know, but I really enjoyed filming this video. I feel like this was a way more comfortable setup than what I'm used to. So maybe every video from now on will be a get ready with me. I don't know. Happy anniversary. See you soon. Merry Christmas. Happy Easter. See you soon, guys. Like and subscribe. Just sort of good luck with your auditions and have a lovely day. Sorry.